1493, Columbus discovered the Virgin Islands. These 16 majestic islands are the gateway to some of the best diving in the Caribbean, and indeed, the world. The Virgin Islands consist of the United States Virgin Islands and the British Virgin Islands. The British Virgin Islands, or BVI, enjoys a near-perfect climate. The heat of the tropical sun is tempered by the continuous trade winds. Yacht chartering has been the primary industry of these islands, and it's easy to see why. Imagine sailing through crystal clear water next to white sandy beaches and arriving at small friendly bars and restaurants right on the numerous docks and quays to round off a perfect day of sailing, and to plan which of the islands you discover tomorrow. There are no fast food restaurants and not one single traffic light on any of these islands. Although governed by the British, the islands maintain a distinctive Caribbean, laid-back feeling. The BVI is just 60 miles east of Puerto Rico and far removed from the hustle and bustle of the modern world. There are 36 islands and numerous rocks and caves in the BVI, with a total landmass of 59 square miles. Tortola is the largest island, with Virgin Gorda the second, and it's from this land base we discover the beauty of the undersea world. The Caribbean Sea enjoys water temperatures of an average of 28 degrees Celsius and excellent visibility. The conditions are perfect for hundreds of varieties of fish and sea creatures. We're going to explore just a few of the species found in the Caribbean Sea. You can recognise the blue chromis for its brilliant blue colour and dark borders on its slender tail. They feed on plankton and swim in mid-water, often just above reefs. The butterfly fish family has many species. Here a pair of banded butterfly fish are looking for a meal. The four-eyed butterfly fish, with a distinctive extra pair of eyes, searches the coral for a snack. Here they find a real meal of Sergeant Major fish eggs to be shared with other four-eyed butterfly fish and a yellow-tailed damselfish. Then they're off again together, darting between the coral, looking for morsels to eat. Another less common species is the reef butterfly fish. The blue tangs and ocean surgeonfish school for protection from predators, but the main advantage of schooling is by the sheer force of numbers they overcome the territorial defences of damselfish and find rich picking amongst the coral. The blue tangs are the brighter of the two, with a tiny yellow spine on the base of their tails. Identification of parrotfish is made difficult due to the dramatic changes in shape, colour and markings. This stop-like parrotfish is in what's called the initial phase. Note the colours of dark reddish brown. This is a fully grown spot-like parrotfish, coloured emerald green with blues, pinks and yellows. No sign of red or brown. Their beak-like mouths are used to scrape algae from the coral and rocks. In the process, large amounts of coral is taken in and ground in their gullet to extract the algae and polyps. This process makes the parrotfish the largest producers of sand in tropical waters. Now, can you see a fish in this shot? Look very carefully. We have now lifted the rock that this clingfish is attached to. As the name suggests, this fairly rare fish clings to the rock for most of the day and night. Now this funny looking fellow is a smooth trunkfish. He's a member of the boxfish family. Wrecks in the BVI are plentiful. These man-made structures provide home for coral and a varied selection of marine life. Wrecks allow creatures to hide away undisturbed until they decide to show themselves. A good example is this spotted moray eel. They can grow up to 4 feet in length. He constantly opens and closes his mouth, which he needs to do to enable him to breathe. Now this is one big fish. It's a jewfish, the largest member of the grouper family and the largest fish in the Caribbean. This one is fully grown and is around 7 to 8 feet long and weighs in at around 400 to 500 pounds. They are reclusive in nature and hide away, often in wrecks, but also on large coral reefs. On rare occasions, they have been known to charge divers, so keep your distance. This more colourful fish is a Spanish hogfish, seen constantly on the move on most wrecks in the BVI. Wrecks provide shelter for schools of fish moving from reef to reef. This massive school of tomtates completely obscures your view as they surround divers. Our next species is the very odd-looking trumpet fish, so called because of their trumpet-like mouth. They change their colour and position their bodies to blend in with the background. Divers are fascinated by wrecks, and none attracts more attention than the Royal Mail ship, the Rhone. The RMS Rhone sank on October the 29th, 1867, whilst trying to outrun a hurricane. She was forced onto the rocks at Salt Island, where she heeled over, broke in two, and sank instantly, taking most of her company with her. Today, the Rhone is one of the top 10 wreck sites in the world. Here you can see the mast and crow's nest. A resident barracuda stands guard in the gap which was made when the ship was torn in two. The barracuda maintains a stealth-like position, looking for prey. The spotted goatfish can rapidly change colour from white to reddish brown when on the move. These Greek-looking arches are the ship's superstructure that rises from the hull. The ship was used in the making of the film The Deep, starring Jacqueline Bisset. This was the hatch the divers went through to recover the treasure. A green turtle searches the wreck for food. These beautiful creatures were once abundant in the Caribbean, but because of over-harvesting, their numbers have greatly declined. This spotted moray is looking for a new home. Here you can see the huge propeller used to propel the 2,738 tons of Rhone in its journey from England to the Caribbean. A few portholes remain intact. Divers rub this one to bring good luck. Rhone is truly a great place to dive. The last place to visit is the galley, where you can still see the remains of the floor. Angelfish change throughout their life. Look at the stripe on this intermediate grey angelfish. On the adult grey angelfish, the stripe has gone. Adults are easily distinguished from one another. However, most juvenile and intermediate stages differ in the markings and colour. Note again the stripe on this intermediate French angelfish. On the adult, the stripe has gone. The dish-shaped angelfish are similar in habits and shapes to butterfly fish and grow to more than 1 foot in length. A spine extended from the rear cheek of the lower gill cover conclusively distinguishes them from butterfly fish. All angelfish swim with a distinctive fluttering motion. A good place to find angelfish are wrecks like this small aircraft, which took off from Beef Island, but unfortunately had too much luggage on board and did not make its final destination. A pair of French angelfish patrol this wreck and allow divers to follow them on their tour of this man-made reef. The queen angelfish is the most colourful of the family. She has a dark blue spot on her forehead, speckled and ringed with brilliant blues, and it forms her crown, which gives this fish its name. The queen angelfish is initially shy, but with some patience they will come out of their hideaways and will often parade around, keeping a watchful eye on the diver. This green moray eel looks menacing, but is quite harmless unless you provoke them. They mainly hide by day and come out to forage at night. Beneath the sand lies a southern stingray. The southern stingray can grow up to 5.5 feet across. They have 1 or 2 venomous spines on their tail, but other than that, are quite harmless. This chap is a scrawled cowfish and yet another member of the boxfish family. They can change from this dark colouring to bright yellow and blue. A bluehead then yellowhead wrasse swim by. While these ocean surgeonfish are seen off by a rather smaller sergeant major fish. The filefish with this extended belly appendage is a peculiar sight, but is full of colour with olive green, brown and orange patches. Another unusual fish is the spotted drum. This is quite a rare fish and is difficult to locate as they live under ledges or entrances to caves. They swim in a circular pattern and feed at night. And now it's time to leave this underwater world and head for the surface. In our short tour, we've seen many families of fish, each with their unique story. Our last creature is the Caribbean reef squid. They also change colour to blend in with their background. I hope you have enjoyed our brief insight into the wonders of the Caribbean undersea world and look forward to sharing more underwater secrets with you soon.